Well. We have a lot going on once again, Dallas Cowboy fans. And I shouldn't say we have a lot going on. Maybe people are just making a lot out of something and we think it's a lot going on. And in reality, it's really not a lot going on. But again, welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. So if you like this video or you like this live stream, please, as you come in, like this video, share, hit the notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or we go live. And you can continue to help us to grow this channel. And so today, I think we have a pretty good show. It's not going to be long. I am trying to get this studio ready to go for draft day. And I'll be making some draft day announcements of my own here in the next couple of days. But I gotta get this studio. And let me give us our topics, and then we're gonna go to the roll call and see who's in here. Our topics for the day, they're gonna be very simple. Micah showed up. Micah showed up, and we're going to spend quite a bit of time on Micah Parsons showing up. And what does that mean for this Dallas Cowboys team? We're also going to be looking a little bit at this thing about Caleb Williams, I think his name is, about him ripping one Matt Eberflus. I mean, this story was up a couple of days ago, and it looks like it's back again. And then, of course, we'll look at a mock draft. We'll talk about best player available again for the Cowboys. And we may add a couple more things in there. Depending upon what comes up on the news wire while we're on. But again, welcome. Again, Cowboy fans, Cowboy haters alike. Let's get our roll call, and then we're going to get into our first topic. Whether it be 10 people or 10,000 people, we're going to talk Cowboys, and we're going to talk facts. Daniel M., I see you in there, my man. Let's go. Dak owns Filthy and Mando Invisible Cream. What's going on? Dak owns Filthy. He must got like a sponsorship contract. What's up? Daniel M., what's going on? Lord Nova, what's up in the crib? Jerry, my man, he said, I'm proud of Parsons. He's maturing. And we're going to talk about that. Blue Star, what up? Happy Monday to you too. What's going on? Yes, sir. Good to see you. Hallelujah. Salute. Same to you. Salute. Hungry Heifer, what's going on? Parsons should have been paid last year. You already know where I am on that part. They should have been done paid this man. All right. Appreciate everybody coming in. The early birds. Early birds get the worm. That's kind of what the theme was today as the Dallas Cowboys came into the voluntary workouts. And again, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. The topics: Micah showed up, Eberflus ripped, mock draft 7, BPA boys, and whatever else we can get our hands on. Miss Matrix, what's going on with you? Good to see you. John Lewis, what's up? Keith, what's up? We about to talk Cowboys. Let's do it. So let's talk about Micah Parsons. Let's talk about Micah Parsons. Some people are surprised by this. And I understand all the headlines. People are saying, Micah Parsons shocks everybody and blah, blah, blah. It's not a surprise to me. This is not a surprise to me whatsoever. If you're someone who understands leadership, you're going to understand exactly what I'm telling you. This is nothing about no one else. Let me tell you about people who love to play victims and people who don't understand leadership. They make what they do about someone else. Leaders don't make what they do about someone else. Other than leaders say, this is about me being a leader and me making an impression upon people. See, leaders understand something. Leaders understand something that perception. Perception is reality to some people. And you have to understand that when you're dealing with young people, when you're dealing with people in general, people don't want to hear you say who you are, what you are. People want you to show them what you are, who you are. And so when we think about Micah Parsons has been talking about leadership. Well, it's great to talk about leadership. But leadership isn't about talking about it. Leadership is about being about it. And leadership is about showing people who you are and what you are what you are willing to do. And so Micah Parsons showing up is no surprise to me. I actually would have been surprised had he not showed up. Micah Parsons has been talking about leadership way too much for him not to show up. He has been. Stephen White, what's going on? Way too much. He's been talking about it way too much not to show up. It was a no-brainer that Micah Parsons is showing up. And this is exactly what this team needs. It is exactly what this team needs. Micah Parsons had already talked about this himself. Micah Parsons had said a while back, he said, I definitely think I need to be here in camp because honestly, when so much of the defense is surrounded by your play and your presence and others are getting lined up based off you, I need to be here so that way I can get these guys accordingly, said Parsons. We can rush together, build that chemistry. Now, you know why everybody's surprised? Because this obviously wasn't his thought process last year. Now, I'm not surprised. But the only way people can be surprised and understand what a surprise is when you do something that you have not been doing or you shock somebody by doing something they didn't expect. I'm giving Micah Parsons credit in case some people might not be catching on to this. I'm not surprised that Micah Parsons showed up. I'm not surprised. I'm ecstatic Micah Parsons showed up. I'm not surprised Micah Parsons showed up. Because again, you can't keep telling people that you want to be a leader and you don't show the qualities of a leader. I'm liking some of the things that we're seeing for Micah Parsons. And again, let me tell you something. It's not about Micah Parsons impressing me. But it is about Micah Parsons making an impression on me, on you, on the coaching staff, on the players, making an impression on everyone that matters. And we matter. The fans matter. We do. We matter. Because we're the fans. We're the true fans. We matter. We want to see Micah Parsons successful. And this is the wild thing, man. This is the wild thing for immature. There are so many immature people. Man, I tell people all the time from the pulpit, man, let me tell y'all something. Don't you ever let nobody tell you that maturity comes with age. Maturity does not come with age. Maturity doesn't necessarily come with experience. The Bible tells us that wisdom comes from above. Wisdom comes from God. When you understand things and you know how to apply them, that's wisdom. That's wisdom. When you understand, when you get the right information, you understand the information and you apply the information. That's wisdom. That's when you know a person is maturing. And Micah Parsons, it seems he's been absorbing some of the things that people are saying. You notice, hasn't been doing a lot of talking. Love it. Hasn't been doing a lot of talking. Putting his head down, showing up to voluntary workouts. I'm pretty sure Micah Parsons is going to limit himself some. He will limit himself some. He will. But at the end of the day, his presence is important. His presence is important because young guys, when they see him say it's important, then they say it's important to me. It's important to me. And Micah Parsons is here, so it's important to me. And so this is what he's doing. He said, I definitely think I need to be here in camp. This is Micah Parsons. No one said this. Micah Parsons says it. No one else said this but Micah Parsons. He said it. This is why I'm not surprised. And I do think that Michael was exhibiting a little bit of immaturity because I think he was flustered by DeMarcus Lawrence. I think he was flustered by DeMarcus Lawrence. I think he was flustered by some of the old ways they had been doing things. I think he was flustered by some of those things. And I think he let some of those things kind of come out in his responses of how he responded to certain things. But now that he feels like there is an obstacle out of his way, Micah Parsons is saying, now it's my time. So again, if it's your time, then it's your time to shine. When it's your time to shine, it's your time to shine, and it's nobody else's. And when God gives you opportunities, man, you better seize them. Because you don't get these things a lot. You got to seize them. You got to seize them. And you know what, Kevin Razor, you said we need him showing up against good teams like we expect from our quarterback, Dak Prescott. And you think about this, Kevin, you know why nobody's surprised that Dak Prescott's there? He's always there. Dak Prescott is always there. Dak Prescott has been in the midst of contract issues, and he always shows up. He's been hurt. He always shows up. I guarantee you Dak Prescott continues to make impressions upon his teammates when they look at the diligence that he has to not just be on the field, but the diligence that he has to be around the team. I'm telling y'all how Tony Romo lost that team in 2016. A lot of people don't realize how Tony Romo lost that team. See, I thought, at least this is what I thought, and I thought I'd heard some people say this. I thought that whenever you were injured and you were on injured reserve, I always thought you couldn't be around the team. I thought that's what people said. You couldn't be around the team. And so a lot of times you see players get hurt and they're not around the team. Tony Romo got hurt in 2016. And the one thing, and I think the biggest mistake that Tony Romo made, Tony Romo did not hang around the team. Tony Romo did whatever he did. However he rehabbed, whatever he was doing, Tony Romo was doing it. But again, you think about it. Tony Romo was out of sight, out of mind. Did anybody notice what Dak did? Dak Prescott got hurt? Nope. All you did was see Dak Prescott. And I do believe this is probably where some of the conspiracy theory came about Dak Prescott. Some people said that he faked the injury because he was still on the field, out there on the crutches, still out there in the tunnel. Dak Prescott in the locker room. And the thing that's so amazing about Dak Prescott, and I understood exactly what he was doing when people were talking about it, Dak Prescott made a point that he didn't break his routine. Dak Prescott would bring his suitcase to the games, bring it in the locker room. He'd wear his nice clothes, whatever he would wear to the locker room, and then he would change into the jogging outfits or whatever, the Cowboys stuff that he had on the sidelines or he had up there in the booth. Man, Dak was on it. Dak was on it, and he made an impression upon people. And so now Micah Parsons, he said, it's my time. So if it's Micah Parsons' time, then doggone it, it's his time. Now it's your time to shine. And when it's your time to shine, you better shine like them lights in the sky. You better shine like them stars in the sky. Blue Star said, I believe Micah Parsons owes that to us fans, like the way he was talking crazy all year long on his podcast, along with other players during the playoffs as well, if he wants to be the leader. Hey, I'm agreeing with you. And again, I want us to think about this, Blue Star. Sometimes when you're immature and you're flustered by something and you can't communicate it in a way that you maybe want to, or maybe people won't listen. So what do young people do when they want people to listen to them? They do it in all kinds of rebellious ways or crazy things or whatever the case may be. And Micah Parsons, I believe some of the stuff he's done in the past, some of it was just immaturity and acting out. But Micah Parsons has an obstacle that has been removed. And now Micah Parsons, and let me tell you something, this is exactly the mindset that I hope he's in. I want to show people the leader that I am and show people the impact that I'm truly now going to really make on this team. See, I'm telling you because, again, this wasn't Micah Parsons' conversation last year. This isn't about anybody else. This wasn't Micah Parsons' conversation last year. He said, I need to be in camp when so much of the defense is surrounded by your play. So since Micah Parsons has pretty much been here, when has the defense not been surrounded kind of by Micah Parsons' play? When has it been? Other than maybe the first year? Micah Parsons came out like gangbusters by the second year, but man, they were doing things around Micah Parsons. And Micah Parsons, for the most part, has been able to do a lot of things that he's wanted to do. But now it's a lot different with Matt Eberflus. I think that he's going to finally be, I think Matt Eberflus is probably going to put Micah Parsons in some type of system. I am so excited to see how many ways they're actually going to use Micah Parsons. But it's important for him to be here. And like he said, others are getting lined up based off of you. Yeah. Yes, sir. Welcome to being a superstar and understanding who you are. See, being a leader, a lot of people don't understand, man. You got to understand who you are. To whom much is given, much is expected. You really have to know who you are and how important you are and how every little thing you do, down to when you show up, how you show up, what you do when you show up, when you leave, what you do when you're not there. All of these things matter. What you're doing on social media, what you're not doing on social media, that matters. That may not matter for somebody who don't want to be a leader, but for somebody who wants to be a leader, every part of that life matters. Every part of that life matters in what I do. You think about what I do. Y'all know what I do outside of this. How would it look to people if I was on here cursing people out? How would it look on here if I was using profanity? How would it look if I was on here just doing all kinds of crazy things and I got people looking at me as a leader? They would be looking at me saying, this is a hypocrite. Who you are should be expressed in everything you do. Jared, you make a great point. He said, why are there so many excuses for Micah Parsons, but so much criticism for Dak Prescott? I think there's a simple answer in some respects, Jared. I just think that Micah Parsons is one of these guys that people like. And the reason why I think they like him, it's for good reasons, and some of it is for the wrong reasons. Let me tell you something. You don't think the media loves Micah Parsons? Micah Parsons is a walking headline. They love Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is always saying this and saying that. And I mean, they love Micah Parsons. They love Micah Parsons. He doesn't get the same criticism. And if you think about what Micah Parsons has even done in the past, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but I disagree when you have a player on a team carrying on like he's just a mere fan of the team and not being cognitive of, hold on a second, bro. You're part of this team. You can't be out here talking reckless about this team. No, you're a part of the team. We need you to be in here not talking reckless. We need you to be in here encouraging us. We need you to be in here being real with us. And we need you to maybe not be saying some of the things that you're saying. You watch what happens once Micah Parsons really starts turning it on and really becoming the leader that he needs to be. You'll watch what happens. They'll turn on him too. I've learned something about people. They'll build you up to tear you down. That's why you don't let people build you up. You just know who you are. You know what your talents are. You know the ability that God has given you. You know how good you are. So that way when a man tells you how good you are, he's not telling you anything new. Now, that's not arrogant. Arrogance is when you're bragging on who you are, bragging about things that maybe you haven't even done. That's different. But when you know who you are, well, how can you call it bragging when you're telling the truth? If you're good at something, you're good at something. I mean, it is what it is. You're not bragging about it, but if you know you're good at it, then understand, I don't need anybody to tell me I'm good at it. I've told people before, sometimes people try to have a conversation like, yeah, you bring a lot to the table. Yeah, I know, I bring it to the table. That's not bragging. It's not being arrogant. You just got to know who you are. You have to know who you are, because sometimes people will try to ingratiate themselves with you, with flattery. And I've heard people say, oh, man, some people say flattery gets you nowhere. Man, in this world, flattery gets you everywhere. But Michael got to be the man now. He got to be the man. It's time to stop talking about the man. It's time to be the man. It is. It's time to be the man. Hungry Heifer said, man, I don't want to be negative. Hey, it is. Hey, let me tell you something, Hungry Heifer. If you're telling the truth, we have to deal with it. We have to deal with some of those things. And if it's not the truth, then we can discuss it. Dang, he said, I believe that Micah's contract is done already. They just don't want to announce it yet. And I believe that they will announce it on draft night and keep all the news on us. Dang, Lim, I think the contract has pretty much been done. I think there are probably a few details that needs to be worked out. But I think that contract has been done. And again, but I do think the Cowboys are doing something very unique. Let's say the contract is done. Let's say the contract is done. But what they're doing right now is helping Micah Parsons, making an impression on the team. Now, let's keep this in mind. Micah already has a contract. And sometimes I even get mixed up saying this. Micah already has a contract. What we're talking about is an extension. And so they're really doing him a favor in a sense by him coming to, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is some type of plan. He's showing up to the training camp without the extension, even though I kind of agree. I think it's pretty much done. Maybe there's a couple of things here or there, but I think it's pretty much done. But by him showing up without the extension, gives him cachet with the guys. It does. Gives him cachet, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Don't spend your time talking about contract. Don't spend your time talking about that stuff. And I hope Micah Parsons learns a valuable lesson. Don't talk about your money, man. Don't talk about your money to the media. Don't talk about your money in the court of public opinion. Only thing you need to be talking about is you, your team, encouragement, things of that nature. And when it comes to the business, you let your agent deal with the business. And don't be saying stuff like, my agent may be mad. How about not making your agent mad? I tell my sons this. Y'all teach people how to treat y'all. If I watch brothers treat each other like trash, well, I'm going to treat those brothers like trash, because to me, they're the type of people who don't have each other back. I could turn them against each other. I can say things about one of them and they'll join in with me. I can go against one of them and be conniving and go behind their back and say something, and they'll go in with me. No, you do not do that. No, you don't do that. If you hired your agent to handle your business, let him handle your business. That's what you hired him for. Don't be out in front of him talking about me and Jerry talked and Jerry, my God. Don't be talking like that, bro. If Jerry your guy, let him be your guy. But if Jerry, hey, even that kind of talk, that don't sit well with everybody. Because some people think, hey, man, the locker room, that's us. There are things that we ought to be able to say that's just among us. Like when you see players have player-only meetings. There's a camaraderie that is supposed to be between teammates. That they have each other's back. They stick together no matter what. And you always want to make sure that you keep that in your locker room. Hey, Jared, I agree. Yes, sir. The same stuff they give Micah credit for is the same stuff they crush Dak for. Yeah, I agree. Azteca, what's going on? Alan Beckham, he said, Michael, what a fraud. The league figured him out on his first day. Wow. I ain't going to argue. Hey, you're entitled to your opinion. But I'll tell you this, Alan. If Micah Parsons will allow this coaching staff to coach him, the thing that you're talking about, and I think you may be talking about, he kind of does the same thing, because Micah is a young guy. He relies a lot on power, and that's typically what young people, the younger players, that's what they do. They rely on a lot of athleticism. But the older you get, the wiser you get, you start learning how to play smarter and not harder. And I think Matt Eberflus and this defense is going, this defense, what they have together right now, I think it's going to be able to help him play smarter. I'm excited for Micah Parsons. I just can't tell you enough how excited I am for him because, I did a video about Kyron Lacy. Kyron Lacy is 24 years old. He's no longer with us. And as a man that has 4 sons, man, there is nothing like watching young men make progress, make steps. Man, it brings tears to your eyes because when you start to, when you see that they're realizing that things aren't like they thought they were, when you see things start to click with them, when you see them starting to be concerned about how, not concerned about how people think about them per se, but they start to think about the impression that they make upon people and how their actions go directly into how people think about them. Boy, that's when you're like, man, some of the things that I'm teaching them, it's starting to sink in. Starting to sink in. I see it's starting to matter. And so that's kind of what you want. So if Micah's, man, let me tell you something. If Micah's going to make steps, man, we have to encourage him. We have to encourage him in every single way. When we watch him make steps, we encourage him. Same thing I love about Dak Prescott, man. When Dak Prescott does these things, we encourage him. We talk about what a leader he is. So it's time. Micah Parsons said it this time. It's time to put up and shut up. Blue Star, he says Dak Prescott is a full-time leader. He was out there in the game showing up. Hold on, let me put that back up there, Blue Star. He says up there for his teammates, sitting in the booth, listening, looking at the game. He was present, no matter. Even if he was hurt, he's never held out. Never held out. And let me tell you how you know that Dak Prescott is the ultimate leader. When Cooper Rush stood in for one of the stints for Dak Prescott, he said it. He said, Dak Prescott's the leader of this team. He said it. Dak's the leader of this team. Dak is always making his presence felt. But I think we're watching also. I want y'all to understand something. I'm going to play a couple of clips here in a moment. I want to greet a couple of more people here. I see some more people in the chat. My man Alex, what's going on with you? Jay Woodson, what's up? Good to see you. Jay Woodson said if they want to make a change, the entire team needs to be there every day. Yes, sir. You're right on it. D Webb, what's going on? Good to see you. Let me go back. I saw my man Big Dal in here. Big Dal 8604. What's going on with you? Players only. What's up? Players only. He said Hampton at 12. Leandrew Sims, what's going on? You said if he want that bag, he better show up. Hey, and you know what? Leandrew, and it's really a fine line. Don't show up to get the bag. Show up because you're going to get the bag. You know what I'm saying? Don't show up to get the bag because you know you're getting the bag. Show up because you're getting the bag. Show up because you want people to know why. I'm getting the bag. This is why I'm getting the bag. This is why I'm getting the bag. I'm a great player, and I'm going to be a great player on the field and off the field. I'm going to be here for this team. Stephen White, he said, I'm going to Popeyes. You got my stomach growling now. Well, yeah. Carrie Kelly, what's going on? She said, thank you, G. Love your content. God bless you. God. And she said, go Cowboys, DC4L. Yes, I'm with you. Appreciate you. Dominique Pittman, what's going on with you? Sexy Suze, what's going on? Good to see you. My girl Niecy, what's going on with you? Good to see you. You said you back from your Cowboys break with this thumbnail. All right. I'm glad to see you. Glad to see you in here. I'm looking forward to some of your comments. Tell me what you think about this thing with Micah Parsons. And again, Alan Beckham. Steven wants a new stadium. Hey, you never know. It'd be another part of a transition. It'd be another part of the transition for the Cowboys, you know, because I think they're turning this thing over to Stephen Jones. I do. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Niecy, you said you saw the video I did on Karen Lacey. Yeah. Oof. Hey, Niecy, let me tell you something. I had to recover from that video. I had to recover from that video, and I hate to even talk about it because having sons, it just bothered me so much. Because, you know, Niecy, and I don't know who has children, who doesn't, but boy, sometimes these young folks, man, they think they have it all figured out. You'll be asking them if everything's all right. Oh, I'm all right. And you know your children. You know it's not all right. And, man, you got to really you got to be so patient, but you got to still be persistent so that if you see that moment of a breakdown, you can be there for that breakdown and get them the help that they need. And, whoo, man, Niecy, that Kyron Lacey thing broke a brother down. Broke a brother down. Just talking about it got me messed up. It's tough. It's just tough. But again, yeah, Dak, you know what? But I think Dak is going to go a long way towards this year turning that around, man. I really do. Terry Turner, he said, Micah, I'm proud of you. Yeah, we all ought to be proud of him because, you know, we have to really push these young people, man. Big Flock 91, what it do? Yes, sir. Appreciate you. He said, well. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Hood Kush 81, what's up? He said, why is it people think that winning games in the regular season doesn't matter? Dak missed the playoff 3 times in 10 years, and that was because he was injured. Dak gets us to the playoffs. Powerful, Hoodie Kush. It's facts. I can't understand why somebody would want to move on from a quarterback that can get you there when now if you're saying he can get you there, now let's get some more players around him so we can get over this hump. What up, Raymond? What's up? Good to see you. Yes, sir. He said, yo, what's good, G? Yes, sir. All good. God is good. Solomon, he said, Dak been proving his word to the true Cowboys fans. Solomon Jernigan. Boy, you just dropped major bombs right there, man. Yes, sir. Blue Star, he said, man, forget the bag. How about show up because you have the drive in your soul, being great in the sport you love. Everybody nowadays is a lot about the money. It's not about the game anymore. And again, Blue Star, let me answer your point again. See, I said this before. The money comes with when you're good. Let me tell y'all something, man. When you're good, the money coming with it. It is. It's coming with it. You don't even have to worry about it. The money is coming with it. All you have to do is be everything that you are. That money coming with it. And Michael is getting that money whether it's here or somewhere else. Dak was getting that money here or somewhere else. So at the end of the day, when you know that money is coming, you got to make it about winning. You have to make it about winning so that when you get the money, people say you're worth it. And so what we have to continue to work on is we got to get this team. So now we got Dak Prescott. I'm not going to say anything about CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, maybe he'll be there this week. Maybe he has something going on in his life. Micah Parsons is there for the defense. This is exactly what this team needed. And I hope Dak Prescott calls Micah Parsons up on the phone tonight if there's something if there's not something going on in his life, and just say, hey man, can you show up? Can you show up? That's exactly what we're talking about, Tony Perry. Yeah, we can see that's the issue. He's learning, and in his learning, we have to be encouraging. That's the whole point with young people. When they are doing the right thing, we have to encourage them and not make it about what somebody else is doing. You know what? Leaders don't care about what other people are doing. They're not trying to base, y'all didn't complain when so-and-so didn't do this, but when I don't do it, it's a problem. And sometimes you have to accept that. Jared has been talking about the criticism of Dak Prescott. You know what Dak Prescott's accepted? He's accepted the criticism. He knows it comes along with it. You just have to deal with it. You do. You just have to deal with it. It's a part of being the quarterback of America's team. Y'all have talked about that. I don't like that attitude, but again, you can't deny that's a part of it. Being a Dallas Cowboy is a part of it, so you have to deal with it. It is. Sexy Suze, she says, gee, I feel the difference between Dak and Micah is that Dak lives and breathes the Dallas Cowboys and is quick to tell you. Ooh, whoa, that's deep. That's deep. And you know, Sexy Suze, let me add to this. And we'll see where Micah Parsons goes. Micah Parsons has been telling us he wants to be a Cowboy for life. But Dak Prescott has shown us he wants to be a Cowboy for life. And I think this is one of the main reasons that Dak Prescott has never held out. And this is the part that I think people really missed. As you said, Sexy Suze, Dak loves being a Dallas Cowboy. He wants to be a Cowboy for life. And I'm telling you, that contract he got, I'll be shocked if Dak doesn't get an extension. I'll be shocked if he doesn't get an extension so Dak can retire a Dallas Cowboy. Yeah, I like what you said there. Raymond, what's going on with you? Raymond Ray Sean, what's going on with you? Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Raymond. Big Mace, 1984, what up with you? He said, what's up, G? As always, enjoy your content, brother. Appreciate it. And let me show you something. Thinking about Micah Parsons and, people, you could tell that there have been people talking about Micah Parsons with this thing about showing up to the voluntaries. Let me let you hear something. This is the third time that I've let you hear this, but it is so powerful to me. Man, let me tell you something. Darren Woodson, I hope Brian Schottenheimer, he mentioned this in his press conference about these old Dallas Cowboy players, these championship Dallas Cowboy players showing up to practices and hanging around the facility, kind of letting these guys really understand and absorb what it is, what is the mentality of a championship squad. I want to take you back to this thing that Darren Woodson said.
In effect, with Dak Prescott, obviously being one guy that's proponent of it, but how much more would you need from that locker room then to have the trickle down?
You got to have, everybody has to buy into it. It's not like you have to be the best team.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, it's leadership from the top. It's the coaching staff, but then a championship. And there's nothing else that's going to get in the way of it. Family is not going to is do your job.
Mm-hmm.
How about the owner? Does he get in the way? Does he get in the way?
To whatever it is, whatever the goal is. And, again, it's leadership from the top. It's the coaching staff. team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't have to be the best team, but if you want to win, you show up. It's an off-season program. You know what the else have it.
Right.
And that's the thing. You can't. There's an off-season program.
Right.
I want you to listen to one Darren Woodson. Darren Woodson, it is a crying shame that Darren Woodson is not yet in the Hall of Fame. This is one of the most incredible men that has ever played for the Dallas Cowboys, an absolute incredible leader. I want you to hear what he says about off-season workouts.
Season ends, 2 weeks later, 4 is out there throwing balls.
Right.
This is Darren Woodson. Darren Woodson said this during the Super Bowl week. Listen to the next part.
Right. Like, oh, I know he's got it.
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody else have it?
Right.
And that's the thing. You can't. There's an off-season program. You know what the off-season program is?
Mm-hmm.
It's called voluntary mandatory. You show your ass up.
This was the expectation of their championship teams. And I've heard people argue and say it's voluntary. It's voluntary. Man, let me tell you something. That is not how a lot of these people think. Even these owners, when you sign these contracts, man, do you know what voluntary means? Volunteer. To them, that's what it means. They can't tell you this, but this is what they mean. Show up. It means to volunteer. No, it's actually not optional. It's actually not optional. We expect you to show up because you're a leader on this team. We expect you to show up. This is why Dak Prescott shows up for every one of these things if possible. This is why Dak Prescott, I was on the video I did about Kyron Lacey. One of the things that really got me about Dak Prescott building that field in his backyard. Dak did not want to get rusty during COVID. And Dak Prescott, he built the field in his backyard because he wanted to continue to throw. He wanted a place where guys could come and he could continue to work on his craft. I mean, this dude Dak, man, he's different. And this is one of the reasons why we got to get the players around this guy so he can really get us to where we know that he can take us. Dak has everything he needs as far as his own mental ability, his capability to get us to where we need to go. We just need to get him the pieces around him so we go as a team and stop piling it all on the back of Dak Prescott. Jabbar, I have not. I will. I'll make sure. I will make sure I get a chance this week. Jabbar Muhammad, I remember that. Blue Star, he said, why is it folks already speaking negative about the Cowboys by only giving us 7 wins? Because they're crazy? Blue Star, there is no way with Dak Prescott healthy this team wins 7 games. There is no way. There is no way that this team is not going. There is no way this team only wins 7 games. There is no way possible unless there is a plethora of of major injuries. Just like Dan Orlovsky told Stephen A. Smith, Dak Prescott healthy, you're getting double-digit wins. And we have all the proof in the past to show it. No, insanity. They said we're not making the playoffs, saying Dak will be bench mid-season. Man, let me tell you something. Dak is not hitting no bench mid-season. It's not happening. Yeah, Blue Stars. CD is out there in Florida training with his team. He did say he would not miss out on training camp. That's why I was shocked he was not in the building today. So, again, maybe he'll be in there. Maybe he'll be in there in the next few days. We'll see what happens. Nisi, I totally agree. New coaching staff. And everyone needs to be there. The team needs to gel. Yep, I agree. Keith, you're saying something. This is exactly what I'm explaining. Sometimes it takes people to realize their capabilities and the response they get as a leader. See, sometimes, Keith, young folks don't understand their effect on people. They don't understand their effect. They don't understand, a child doesn't understand when they go out and do goofy stuff. They don't understand how that hurts their parents. It's me. What is it? What's it got to do with you? Because you're my son, you're my daughter. That's what it's got to do with me. They don't understand how they impact their parents with goofy stuff. And young men and young women don't understand. And this social media age is so dangerous. People don't understand. They're putting stuff on social media that'll never be able to be erased. Somebody 20 years down the line, your own son or daughter may come across something and just be totally embarrassed. Talking about, what in the world were you thinking right here? I mean, when you're young, sometimes you just don't understand how so many of these things impact who you are and how people think. D. Webb, he said, I'm so ready for the Cowboys to ace this draft this year. D. Webb, man, I'm you know what? I don't want to be anxious for anything, but I can tell you this. Oh, I'm ready for this draft. I'm ready for this draft. I mean, we done mocked it up to death. I think Mel Kiper said he gave his last mock draft of the year. Man, we have mocked this thing to death. We have mocked it to death, man. And I'm just, enough of the mocks, man. We'll do one today, but, man, I'm ready for the real thing. I'm ready for the real thing. Sexy Sues, yes, talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. Yes, talk is cheap. Yep, the Cowboys need to change it to voluntold. And again, Niecy, some people will argue this stuff. Oh, it's voluntary. Man, come on. You really think they want you not to volunteer? If they didn't want you to volunteer, they could just say we're not going to have it because nobody's going to volunteer. No, they're having it because they expect everybody to volunteer. They want everybody to volunteer. Jared said it would be absolutely ridiculous to get rid of Dak Prescott that at his best can give you MVP caliber production. We got to stop taking Dak Prescott for granted. Hey, I'm telling you, I think Dak gonna make some steps this year too. I think they're gonna finally put those pieces around him over the next 2 years. And I'm telling you, I think Schotty gonna have this. Schottenheimer said Dak Prescott is gonna play elite quarterback, and until he doesn't, I believe what he says. Blue Star, he said, "Preach, G man, yes sir." I'm trying to speak them facts, man. McShawn McCoy, Emmanuel Acho, even entertained Dallas could finish last in the East. It's crazy. It's crazy work. There's just crazy work. Cowboys are going to be way better than people think. Way better. Yeah, 100% agree with Niecy. Yeah, they all got to be here. Blue Star, I just want one Super Bowl from Dak. Why you? He says why you may, because there's a lot of delusional fans who wish worst on the man. Compare him to Robo. Hell, he's all a lot better than Robo. Man, let me tell you, he gonna get him one. I'm telling you, he gonna get him one. Yeah, he gonna get him one. Niecy, yes. My parents always told us that we represent them and our family name when we step out the house. Yes. All the time. All the time. Blue Star, how about you go live during the draft like the Cowboys? Oh, I'm doing it. Yes, sir. I'm doing that for sure. We're going to have a draft party. We're going to get the information out here in the next couple of days. But, yeah, we are definitely going to have a draft party for sure. Got some things planned that day, too. It's going to be pretty cool. So I'll be getting the details out on that here no later than this weekend. But yes, sir, we are definitely going to have a draft party. It's gonna be cool. Jared, I had to stop watching the facility. They started doing the very stuff they said they were not going to do. They started getting crazy and having some of the dumbest takes. I finally got to the point, even James Jones, who was one of the smarter guys on there, even James Jones, he started joining in. And I think they tell these guys, man, I really do. I think they tell these guys that, hey, we got to get the likes, or we got to get the clicks, or we have to get this, that, and the other. And these people, man, they come out and just say a lot of the dumbest stuff. They do. And, you know, one of the dangerous things about the media, and let me kind of say this, one of the dangerous things about the media, and that includes us, us content creators, we have to be very careful about the negative or the negativity that we ourselves bring to this team. There are a lot of us who say we're Cowboy fans, and boy, you've never heard nobody hate on the Cowboys like the people who say they're the fans. It's the same thing about 105.3 The Fan. This is why for a long time I stopped listening to them, because they didn't sound like fans. And some people, oh man, I'm keeping it real. Keeping it real? Man, some of this stuff was just bona fide slander. Some of our own people do this stuff to us. And there's never an encouraging word. We're just like the media. Yeah, we're going to be terrible. Yeah, we this, we ain't this, and we ain't that, and we ain't this. Never talking about what we are. And we call it keeping it real. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But a lot of this stuff is painted by our own media, by our own people who say they're the fans. Can't stand the quarterback. I mean, and as much as we know Jerry Jones does some wrong things, at the end of the day, nobody's changing Jerry Jones out as the owner. I mean, is the team Jerry Jones, or is the team the Dallas Cowboys? Because at the end of the day, the players, they still have to play. Even if they don't have everything they need, they still have to play. They still have to go out there and perform to the best of their ability. So, and I don't even think we realize it, that, man, these players, they're hearing what the fans are saying. And the reason why I know this is because Dak Prescott was out there last year knowing that team was tore up from the floor up behind the scenes. Dak was begging the media, be easy on the team. These guys read this stuff. Y'all remember what Trayvon Diggs did? Trayvon Diggs came right out of a game, wasn't even 5 minutes, sat down at his locker room, picked up his phone because he thought he had a great game, and one of the media members criticized him, and Trayvon Diggs put that phone down and came out of the locker room, still in uniform, put that dude on blast. Man, these players, this is a new era, it's a new age. And we just have to be careful some of the things that we're saying. You know, if we're going to be critical, you know, make sure we're critical in a way that's encouraging. Make sure we're critical in a way that we're saying we want a person to be better rather than just tearing a person down for the sake of tearing them down. But again, I'm going to play something from Brian Schottenheimer, and then we're going to move on to Matt Eberflus. You know, there's some talk going on about Matt Eberflus, and man, I'm telling you, boy, I'm sure that this is going to pass as it pertains to Matt Eberflus, but boy, Caleb Williams, man, he tried to, and I don't even know if he tried to wreck him or anything like that. I mean, from everything I heard, it sounded like he kind of deserved some of the criticism that he got. But it's reared its ugly head again.
I mean, you look at what we did.
So now people are
I got
wondering,
Clayton Adams looking at me going, hey, man,
what is Matt Eberflus going to be? But again, I'm excited. It's their first practice.
You know, I have a bunch of love for Will just because, again, he's been on this journey.
And we'll talk about Matt Eberflus when we get there in just a moment. But I want to play this last clip.
We're always looking. I mean, we're always watching. Again, that doesn't stop when the draft ends.
And this is another reason why I'm not surprised about Micah Parsons showing up.
You're always looking to fill the cupboard with good people.
I know someone's not going to like what I'm about to say. But I do believe that I do believe that Brian Schottenheimer, whether you love him, like him, or hate him, whether you're excited, waiting to see, or you think he's going to fall flat on his face, the one thing you cannot deny about this dude's a people person. He's a people person. He's a leader of men. And he knows, for whatever reason, and I think this dude is, I think a lot of people are going to be eating their words about Brian Schottenheimer. This dude's a culture builder, man. This dude is a culture builder. And a lot of people may not realize, man, when you build a great culture, you don't have to be the best team athletically when you build a great culture. You can be the best team because of your mentality with the combination of your athleticism and drive, and you can be the best team out there. And I do believe that Brian Schottenheimer has been really getting in the mind of his players. I'm gonna let you hear something that he said about Micah Parsons, and this is another reason why I'm not surprised Micah Parsons is at Voluntaries. Let me cue it up again.
These rookies in person, what's your evaluation of the quarterback draft class?
We're going to take Eli Manning on, what they're about. There's no reason he shouldn't. I've always
there to that Michael should be around.
Are they a culture?
Let me show you. I'm telling you, man, if you just pay attention, you won't even need inside people telling you stuff. Trees are known by the fruit that they bear. All you have to do is just pay attention to how people move, pay attention to what things people are saying, pay attention to who's saying it, pay attention to what the context is in this whole matter. And when you start listening real close, you'll see things and people be like, man, you called it. Yeah, I called it, but to be real, I didn't call it because of Nostradamus. I called it because I'm listening to things people are saying. Listen to Brian Schottenheimer.
Fit, and so that to me is more important than the actual workout itself.
Brian said that Michael should be around in the offseason. How important is that for him to grow as a leader with the rest of the room? Obviously, you've lost some guys on defensive free agency. That he is there to work with those guys in the spring.
Yeah, well.
Now, y'all heard the question. Everything this reporter asked is everything that people are talking about, including what Micah Parsons himself talked about. Listen to Matt Eberflus.
I think more importantly, that's what Mike has talked about. Mike is excited about the opportunity to step up in a leadership role, and there's no reason he shouldn't. I've always, the best teams I've ever been around, their best players are their best leaders. And so, again, I think the more you're around, the more you have a chance to influence the guys, and not just the guys that are back, but there's a bunch of new faces, right? We've added, the free agency group. We're going to add some guys in the draft. So that's part of the puzzle. But I know he's excited about that. And again, like I said earlier, I think that's one of the reasons why he will be around.
Now, let me tell you something. Micah Parsons is a young man. And whenever you're about to give a young man generational wealth, you have to really sit down with that young man and tell him what the expectations are. And you really have to get across to him expectations that comes along with this stuff. And we know you can't tell someone to show up to voluntary workouts. I'm telling you, they're not called voluntary because they want people to, because they're saying, hey, come if you want to. No, they're saying volunteer. Because of the collective bargaining agreement, we can't tell you to come, but we're telling you to come. That's why we're holding these things. And the leaders show up to these things. They show up. They make their presence felt. And so, Brian Schottenheimer, did you notice what he said? I don't see any reason why he will not be here. Really? Could it be that he doesn't have an extension? Could it be he don't want to get injured if he does any kind of running around, suiting up, and then that detracts away from his money? Even though it's Jerry Jones, I seriously doubt if he was to get hurt, Jerry Jones is not going to give him his money. But when I was first hearing Matt Eberflus doing this kind of talking, I already knew. No, they've been talking to Micah Parsons. And not just talking to him. This dude right here, man, if you just listen to him. This dude is very encouraging, man. He has a way of encouraging people. The way he talks. Just listen to him. He's going to say a little bit more.
What's your understanding? Will be a little more engaged in the off-season program. I mean, I know he was doing stuff on his own, but more engaged with you guys this year with the new coordinator than he was last
Yeah, that's
year.
my understanding. All these guys have people that they work with. And again, the way the league's set up now, you have to have those because when you leave, when the season's over, right, we don't see them for a while. And so with all those guys, they have people. But at the end of the day, we expect them to be around.
See, because in this new age of personal gurus, and no knock on those guys because some of them do a great job. That's fine when you're talking about the off season. There's nothing going on. And they're working on, their ability, getting better, footwork and techniques, whatever they're doing. But when those doors open up at the facility and you can be there, so that you can get access to all the equipment, all of the people, and have access to your players. It's vital. It really is. It's vital. It's vital. And so again, I'm so happy for Micah Parsons because there's nothing wrong with being told how to get it. What's wrong is when you're told how to get it and you don't get it. He's getting it. He's listening. This is one of the things that I talked about in one of my earlier videos because I was like, who's this dude? Who's his advisors? Excuse me. I was like, who is he listening to? Let me tell y'all something. Who you listen to is important. And you mess around and surround yourself with immature people, man, you will be doing dumb things. But it sounds like to me he's starting to surround himself with some people that got some sense. And in particular, I'm telling you, Stu Brian Schottenheimer, people can tell me anything they want to. You don't know what he's going to look like. And I'm excited. Now he's getting to have his first coach. We're getting to see, hopefully we'll see some clips of what the team and how he's going to be running the practices. We're going to get to see a lot of those things. But I'm telling you, just listening to this guy, he believes everything that he says. Not only does he believe everything that he says, the thing that has impressed me about this guy so much is that you can tell he's been planning for this moment. He's not somebody that was hoping he'd become a coach and then, this is what he gonna do when he become a coach. No, he's one of these guys that you can tell he had planned on being a coach. All of his stuff wrote down, his plans wrote down. He had already been following and analyzing players in coaches in the background. When you think about that stuff, how he talked about he had followed the offensive coordinator that he brought in for 2 whole seasons. You're not even a coach. I mean, you're not even the head coach. I mean, you're an OC, but you're really only implementing the plays. You're not calling the plays. And you're doing all this. He had planned on it. He had already planned on it. So that since he planned on it, he was ready. And this is what we're seeing. And so again, some of the stuff you're seeing from Micah Parsons, even Stephen Jones alluded to some of this stuff. This is why I'm not surprised. I'm excited, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Eventually, when you got that kind of talent, man, you got to grow. Because if you don't grow, you'll never be able to channel it in the right direction. You'll never be able to channel it. So when you are immensely talented, one of the things that you need someone to guide you. You need someone to be able to hone those talents so that you can use them for the greater success of the team and yourself. But again, man, I absolutely love the fact that this man is in voluntary workouts. And I bet the team is excited too. I really do. Keek said, I'm hoping he do, but boy, he said, if Shotty turn this thing around and Cowboys make it to that place we want to be, man, you won't be able to tell the Joneses nothing. Let me tell you something, Keek. They want to be right. A lot of people don't realize it, but they want to be, I could be dead wrong on this. But I think they want to be more right on this than they've ever been on anything in their life. I want you to think about this. There was another time they wanted to be right, Keek. There was another time they wanted to be right. You know what it was? They wanted to be right when they bought the team from Tex Schramm, booted Tom Landry out the door, had plans for a brand new stadium, and they brought in Jimmy Johnson as the coach. You know what they want? You know what they wanted to prove? They were right. They wanted to prove they were right, kicking Tom Landry out the door. Prove they were right, bringing in Jimmy Johnson. Prove they were right in needing a new stadium. They wanted to prove all these things. Prove that Jerry is a better owner than Tex Schramm. Prove. Man, and when somebody get in prove-it mode, I'm here to watch it. And I think the Cowboys are in prove-it mode. D-Webb said not the Joneses. I think they are, D-Webb. I think they in prove-it mode. And I'm here for it. Nisi said he can show up and learn the new playbook and do the walkthroughs if he's concerned about injuries. Exactly. And Nisi, and let his voice be heard. We don't want to get to week, what was it, Nisi? We got to week 12, and Micah Parsons was talking about, yeah, man, we finally got the playbook. In week 12? In week 12, you got the playbook. Come on, man. This is what the offseason is for. So, again, this is why I tell you about Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy, I wouldn't want him to be my coach. But Mike McCarthy is football smart. He's not a good play caller, not a motivator of men. But he's football smart to this degree. He understands a lot of the personnel stuff. And one of the things he said last year, and he really got on Jerry about this. I made a video about it. The fact that you need every player on your team in training camp after the draft. Everybody needs to be there. You don't need to be still trying to sign guys and putting your team together, holes here and holes there, and we don't really know what we're going to do. No, you need to know you need to know the majority of these are the players that we're rolling with, and we'll see what else comes during the preseason cuts. But as for now, including the undrafted free agents, you got the undrafted free agents, you got the free agents, and you got the undrafted free agents, you got your draft picks, and you got your team, the guys who've already signed. Your free agents, you need all of them signed so that when you hit that camp after free agency, everybody is there. Everybody is learning the program. Everybody is learning the plan. You need everybody there so you can build that chemistry. You do. And I'm loving what he's doing. Nisi says Shotty was doing his homework and research. She said, I'm ready to it on the field. Nisi, me too. This dude, Brian Schottenheimer, man, I'm telling you, what this dude is doing, it needs to be studied. It is fascinating that every time I hear this guy talking, he's like just stuff he was already researching and planning. And I mean, who does this stuff? This dude is doing something better than manifestation. You do it as if it already was. You start doing the things that you need to do as if it's already done. See, I tell people this a lot of times about prayers. A lot of people want to pray and sit down and say, okay, let God go to work. No, you pray like your prayers have been answered. You do the things or the part you have to do to make your prayers come true. And when you get to the point to where there's nothing else you can do, then you watch God work. You watch God work. You watch how things happen when you do. You ever notice what a lot of people do? Or some people do? Some people complain about things not being how they want them to be while not being everything they're supposed to be. Oh, this ain't this and this ain't that. Well, have you ever dealt with the fact that you're not this and you're not that? You do your part. You make sure you give it all you have. And then watch how things happen. Boy, if you can get a team where everybody's giving it all they have, everybody's giving it all they got, everybody has everybody back, watch what I tell you. You'll be able to beat a lot of teams. You will. Solomon Jernigan, he says Shotty was able to sit back and planning for his staff in this takeover. Solomon, you know what? kind of got me wondering. You ever work somewhere and you can see the writing on the wall? See, a lot of people, people go back and forth and they say, well, Jerry and Steven had plans on Mike McCarthy coming back. No, they didn't. I'm telling y'all they didn't. They did not. If Jerry and Steven wanted Mike McCarthy back, they would have signed him either during the 2023 season or they would have signed him immediately after the 2024 season. No, they were done. They were absolutely done. And I remember there was talk that it was Brian Schottenheimer that kind of, in some weird way, got the Joneses and McCarthy on the same page so that they could get that last season and that sit down. But at the same time, Solomon, I'm saying all that to say this. That man Shotty saw that writing on the wall, Solomon. That man Shotty saw the writing on the wall too. Maybe I think that may be a part of it. He saw that writing on the wall. Saw the way things were going. And a lot of people say, well, if he was behind Mike McCarthy and he was the answer, why didn't he give the answers? Because he wasn't Mike McCarthy. You can't take over the coaching. You can't take over the coaching job and you're not the coach. You can tell Mike McCarthy to change and this and that and the other, but Mike McCarthy is the coach. And some coaches take offense to that kind of stuff. Brian Schottenheimer is going to show us how he would do it. Just like I think Stephen Jones is about to show us how he would do it. Now that he's going to be the owner. We're going to see some stuff. We're going to see if Stephen is as cheap as Jerry. Timothy, what's up, my brother? Appreciate that super chat on the video I did earlier on Kyron. He said, what would it cost the Cowboys to acquire Trey Hendrickson? Realistically, I think 2026. 2026 first and a 2025 fifth. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, Timothy, I don't think the Cowboys have to give up nothing like that. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cincinnati Bengals, if they're not willing to extend Trey Hendrickson, I wouldn't be surprised if they would take a third-round draft pick for him. I wouldn't be surprised because if we're talking about the Cowboys making any kind of trades, the Cowboys are not going to give up a first-round or a second-round draft pick for nobody. I mean, in these days and times, absolutely nobody. I mean, the players that they would give that up for, it would have to be some young, hotshot guy in his prime. Understand Hendrickson is what, 30, 31? So they wouldn't give up something like that for him. But this thing with Hendrickson is going to get very interesting because Hendrickson got to make a decision, man. He's an older player. But, my thought process on Hendrickson is I'm wondering if he's going to show up. He might not show up. No, I'm serious, man. He might not show up. And if he does, he's going to probably limit his activity because, when you get to that point, where his age. And I can't believe that more people are not talking about Trey Hendrickson. 35 sacks in 2 seasons. 17 and a half sacks in 2 seasons. 17 and a half sacks per season for 2 seasons. Man, you want to talk about productivity. That's crazy work. I don't care how you slice that. That is crazy work. 17 and a half sacks for two seasons in a row. I'm really surprised that more people aren't jumping out there trying to get this dude. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised, but we'll see how it goes down the road. We'll see what happens. Let me see here. Nisa said that Keek, if and when we get there, I will be singing with Jerry. I did it my way. Oh, I feel you on that. I feel you. Yo. Jerry said McCoy should have been thrown off the air when he said Dak was, yeah. Oh, yeah. Man, let me tell you something. There have been some people, man. I saw an article out there floating around, Jared, that there have been people calling for Shady McCoy's job because of some of the takes he's been given. Man, I believe it 100%. I believe it 100%. Yes, hallelujah. He said 1,000%, G, yes. Buddha said, let Micah not get that contract like he expects. Then you'll see the true character come out. This is a front Micah's putting on. Well, hey, Buddha, let me tell you, man, Buddha, he getting that contract. I believe if it's not already signed, that contract is already done. Katharina Kiss, what's going on with you? D. Webb said, I like the sound of a 2026 Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys. D. Webb, you already know I've been calling it. I'm calling 2026 no later than 2027. This team is going to take them another year to build the squad that they're trying to build. It's going to take them another season. I'm going to enjoy this season as we watch the progress of the Cowboys. I'm going to absolutely enjoy it. Now, there are going to be a lot of people talking about I told you so every opportunity they get, but not me. I am going to absolutely enjoy this season. I am. Martin Holman, appreciate you. Martin Holman said, GOAT master preaching today. Throw up these likes. Yes, sir. I agree with you. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Just trying to speak that truth, man, because, man, Martin, man, we gotta encourage these young folks. And I mean, you look pretty young on your picture, man. We gotta encourage y'all, man. The older generation, man, we gotta encourage the younger generation. And we can't be afraid to tell them when they're doing things wrong. But we definitely gotta stand on business when they do things right. So, I absolutely love this thing, man. I absolutely love this thing with the Cowboys, and I love this thing with Micah Parsons being there, and I love it. Terry said, he said, I'm a troll, and I know that. He said, so henceforth I will practice not being in agreement with Cowboy podcasters. He said, most of the podcasters mix facts with opinions. He said, I don't always agree with opinions, and that's okay, too. Ron said, BPA only matters if you a good evaluator of talent. Woo! You just said something right there. Boy, you just said something. Man. Terrence LeBird, he said, I meant to write. I understand what you're saying. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Niecy said, facts, G. Shotty better get, hey, Niecy. Now, this right here, Niecy, I'm going to call this a Niecy fact. This is an absolute Niecy stat right here, and you can't track this one necessarily with the stats, but if you go back and look, I got to agree with on this. Niecy says, facts, G. Shotty better get all he needs and want these first 3 years. But I believe they won't throw him away because they really believe in him. Now, again, Niecy has a theory that I believe is fact. It's like Jerry and Steven will give you a lot of leeway the first 3 seasons. But if you're not doing your thing by that 3rd season, they preparing for your exodus. They're preparing for your exodus. And I'm telling us, they were done. And I'm telling you, people don't have to agree. But you can tell the way they did things. They were done with Mike McCarthy after the 2023 season. They were done. They were done after he was, at least if you believe things that have been said by insiders, after they let him run Kellen Moore out and take the playbook, after they let him run out Amari Cooper, after they allowed him to do some of the things that he did, the expectations in 2023 were extremely high for Mike McCarthy. And that 2023 season, for whatever reason, even though Jerry didn't, and y'all notice, y'all might not have noticed this, it was said that Mike McCarthy was one of the biggest proponents of running Amari Cooper out of the building. Did y'all notice? They didn't replace Amari Cooper. Not the way they should have. They did not replace Amari Cooper. They didn't. And I don't know, the Joneses are weird like this to me because I just don't understand how you have a team like they had over the last 5 years, 3 12-win seasons, and you're not trying to build upon each one of them seasons to say, okay, this is where we fell short this season. Let us recalibrate and get that piece and this piece and this piece, because at the rate we're going, in another couple of years, we're going to have a team that can't be beat. It's like they didn't think like that. But again, I think they're going to think like that with Shotty. They seem to like this dude. I'm just telling you, they just like this dude. Jigga man, what's going on? He says enjoying New Orleans, but I gotta pull up and give you your flowers. Appreciate you. Bubba, hey, I'm not gonna argue with you. Bubba said this. He said the guy first time showed up for volunteer work. I wonder why. Oh yeah, it's because he wants a contract. But again, hey Bubba, they talk about this stuff behind closed doors. And again, if you listen to Brian Schottenheimer, when they asked him, what does he think he's going to be there? He's like, of course. Yeah, because they've been talking about this stuff. Because they talk about this stuff. They do. They talk about this stuff, and it's just, it is what it is. That's what they do. But again, hey Bubba, this is one of the reasons why I said at the beginning of the Micah Parsons segment, I'm not surprised. They want to help Micah Parsons, and I applaud them for this. They want to help him become a better leader. It's one thing to tell somebody to be a better leader, but it's a whole nother ballgame when you tell them how to do it. Because where we fail a lot of times is we expect things out of people, and we have the knowledge of what it would take for them to be whatever it is we're telling them to be, but rather than us telling them, we'll let them fall flat on their face because we don't want to offend nobody, and people gonna call us haters. Man, I'm not listening to that stuff. Speak the truth in love to people. If there's something that somebody that you love, there's one thing they could do to improve, why wouldn't you tell them? If there's something they could stop to improve, why wouldn't you tell them? We be too concerned about the response. No, man. How about you hope for the better response of, okay, you know what? I'm gonna, yeah, that's a good. I appreciate you telling me that. So let me do this, that, and the other. So again, we know what it is. We know what it is, Bubba. That's why people are surprised, but I'm not. I could tell the way things were going that this was going to happen, and I'm happy for it. I'm absolutely happy for it, and I'm giving him all the credit in the world for listening to it. Big Mace, I'm telling us, man, a lot of people, it was that Green Bay game that sealed it, bro. They were done with him after that Green Bay game. Point blank in the story. And when they brought that man in the offseason, after the season was over, I say it and I'll say it again. If you want me, you're not going to give me an offer I can refuse. You're going to give me an offer that I can't refuse. Man, let me tell you something. You know when people want you and when people don't want you. You know when they want you. There's no doubt about it. You know when they want you. They don't come in talking about, oh, you ain't going to do this and we want this to be this. Man, when somebody sits you down and start telling you all that crazy stuff and we're taking this from you and you ain't going to be that. They're telling you, we really don't want you to be the coach. And tell me this doesn't happen. Anybody who's been in management, there are times when people force you out of companies by the things they do to you. I've been here and done this stuff. Been here and done this stuff. How many times have you work somewhere and there was a person somebody wanted to get rid of, and they know that they really can't fire that person. So what do? They start nitpicking, or they start trying to figure out things, or they start saying things, or these changes, or they start changing things. Why? Because they don't want to fire the person. They want the person to quit. And Mike McCarthy, he quit. And I don't think he'll be a head coach again. I don't. I think he may be a consultant for somebody in the future. I don't think he'll coach again. Keek said Shotty told us his plan. He said he picked so many defensive players in free agency and had his OC question of if he's in in the same interview. If he's an offensive guy, Shotty's going to go aggressive in the draft on offense, young and fast. I believe it. I'm in 100% agreement with you. 100% agreement with you. And let's move on to Matt Eberflus. This is a short story, and then we'll get back to some of your comments. I appreciate y'all today. Our content all across the internet is really about to really ramp up because now we got some boots on the ground per se. And now we're going to actually be talking about some things we're going to be seeing in camp. Man, I'm excited about that. And man, we got the draft next week. Boy, it's gonna be bonkers next week, man. It is going to be bonkers. But I want to look at this story with Matt Eberflus. I don't know if y'all have seen this story. This story, and I saw some people talking about it, and I don't know enough about it because I'm just not a Chicago Bears follower, even though, that game on Thanksgiving, man, ooh, I got to question that. There's some stuff that, boy, that they had some questionable losses, to say the least. But again, let's talk about this thing with Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus under fire.
Here we go.
Matt Eberflus says Eberflus was fired by the Chicago Bears, the first head coach sacked during the season in the franchise's 104-year history. Last Thanksgiving, after bungled clock management, that Thanksgiving game, I do not understand it, cost them a chance to upset the Detroit Lions. Man, if I was a conspiracy theorist, I'd say somebody called and told them to lose that game. Says, but it was a colossal collapse of a couple of weeks before that apparently sent the Bears locker room into a tailspin that put Eberflus's authority in limbo. The Bears were on the verge of going 5-2 in late October. They led the Washington Commanders 15-12 until giving up Jaden Daniels' Hail Mary touchdown. Oh, that was the beginning of the Jaden Daniels stuff right there, boy. That's when people really went crazy. The Jaden Daniels Hail Mary touchdown on the final play. A month later, they trailed Detroit by only 3 points, but failed to call a timeout on their final drive until having time to run only one last play that failed. In a new interview with Esquire magazine, Bears quarterback Caleb Williams admits that Eberflus's game management and handling of the loss to Washington negatively affected the game. And it says how Eberflus handled it at that time for that game was, I think, one of the things that throughout the locker room people talked about and were annoyed by Williams said. After the Hail Mary, the Bears lost their next nine games and finished the season 5-12. And let's look at what was said. I remember this because I think what they were really mad about is that he was playing the blame game, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if we can bring that up. Let's see here. It says Williams opened up about the Bears' notorious loss during an interview conducted in late February in Copenhagen, Denmark. Williams spent time there this offseason with his girlfriend, who is Danish. Eberflus famously, let me blow this up so y'all can see it. Eberflus famously defended the Bears' strategy at the end of the team's 18-15 loss, October 27. After the Bears scored with 27 seconds left to take their first lead, they allowed the Commanders to complete two passes along the sideline, one for 11 yards, the next for 13, to move to the Washington 48. That put the end zone within range, and quarterback Jaden Daniels threw the ball 63 yards in the air for a 52-yard touchdown. And it says how Eberflus handled it at that time for that game was, I think one of the things that throughout the locker room people talked about and were annoyed by, Williams told the magazine. I guess I don't know. I guess they didn't like the way he defended it. It says cornerback Jalen Johnson barked at the coaching staff after Eberflus refused to take a time out as the clock expired. Okay, so I guess that's one of the things they didn't like. Williams appeared on the cover of Maverick Sports edition of the magazine wearing a pink and maroon rugby shirt and plaid overcoat. His comments to Esquire were the first time he has talked publicly about the player's annoyance with Eberflus, though he said at Hallis Hall 3 days after the Hail Mary loss that right in that moment you're angry, you're furious that you lost, and you lost in that way. But again, Eberflus had a rough go in Chicago. Let me tell you why I'm not going to trip too hard on this. One, he is not going to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. He is not going to be the head coach. Two, I'm sorry. There's about 4 places that if I was a quarterback or a coach, I just wouldn't go to these teams. I wouldn't even throw my hat in the ring. Chicago Bears, Cleveland Browns, New York Jets, Carolina Panthers, and probably the Jacksonville Jaguars. I just wouldn't want no part of those 5 teams. I just wouldn't want no part of those 5 teams. There is something about those 5 teams that are just not right for me. I couldn't do it. And so when we think about Eberflus, I'm not concerned about what happened in Chicago. I think Matt Eberflus, now all he has to worry about is the defense. He doesn't have to worry about managing a whole team. That's not what we got him here for. We got him to come in. He's got a great staff around him as far as his defensive coaches. Only thing we want this man to come in here and do is come in here and turn this defense into one of the top defenses in the NFL, of which it seems that he is very, very, very capable of. And so I kind of want to move to the draft.
Here we go.
And I want to continue, a lot of people are talking about these drafts and things like that. And, I think the big thing for the Cowboys right now, everybody is wondering which wide receiver, because, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. I believe everyone knows the Cowboys are going wide receiver in the first round. The question is, who will be? And I want to bring this up again because I really think that this is going to be this is going to be absolutely huge. Let's pull this up here. I want to pull up, let's see. I don't know if you guys have ever looked at this thing on Tankathon that I look at quite a bit. I'm going to throw this down in the chat because they not only have the draft order, but they also have a big board up here to where you can look at let's see, how far did they go? So you can look at the top 157 players. The top 157 players. This is something that you can really look. I think it's really cool to look at this. So the Cowboys are drafting at they are drafting at 12. And there is this thing going on with Shedeur Sanders. And I really do hope this turns out for Shedeur Sanders. I really do. I hope that Shedeur doesn't have in his mind. I hope his father, and I know, Deion is smart. Deion is smart. And let me go to a couple of my comments here. Robert Simmons, he said, you're right, G. Nisi says, I hope they were brutally honest about everything when they talked to Micah. I do too. I agree with you on that. D Webb, he got the praying hands up. Nisi said, he's defense, not offense, right? So I'm not worried. Me neither. This is the very reason why I'm not worried. Shotty seems to have it together as far as what he wants to do. Now, as we look at the draft, we got to see how this part turns out. Who takes who? Look at this. This thing has changed since the last time we looked on here. Now, they have the Cleveland Browns taking Travis Hunter. And the New York Giants taking Abdul Carter. See, the thing that I'm wondering about the Dallas Cowboys, I'm wondering, will the Cowboys get a little bit antsy? Would the Cowboys get antsy if Abdul Carter started sliding down? If Abdul Carter starts to slide down, what do you do if you're the Cowboys? I think I saw somewhere that the Cowboys, people are saying the Cowboys could slide up and get Ashton Jeanty, which I think is going to be very hard. I think it's going to be very hard to get Ashton Jeanty. Because again, I'm just telling y'all, I'm not going to be surprised. I'd already called it, and now they've changed it. The way the New York Giants had set themselves up with Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, I'm not going to be surprised if they actually go get Ashton Jeanty. That's what I'm not going to be surprised at. And I wouldn't be surprised if, watch this, the Las Vegas Raiders could shock everybody and trade backwards. The Las Vegas Raiders, they already have the quarterback. They already know they can trade backwards and get a wide receiver if they want another wide receiver. They could trade back. Or Henry Ruggs III, that was his name. I'm thinking it was Ruggs, right? He was a cornerback. Who's to say? Who's to say that they don't get the top cornerback in the draft? Who's to say they don't get the top cornerback? Who's to say they don't get Will Johnson? San Francisco, I could see them getting Will Johnson. This draft is going to be, I'm telling you, I'm not just excited for who the Cowboys get at 12. I'm just excited overall because I don't think this draft is going to go the way people thought it was going to go. And if I were the Cleveland Browns have had some really good defensive lines, and it hasn't gotten them anywhere. So maybe for them, Travis Hunter, let me tell you about this dude. I'm telling you, man, you got to go look at Travis Hunter tape, man. Man, this dude, Travis Hunter, is an athlete. This dude is catching the ball with no hands. Now, for the younger folk, that's incredible. Now, when I was coming up, man, we never thought about gloves. You either had hands or you didn't. You could either catch or you couldn't. This dude went out there, I guess you call it during his pro day. This dude went out there with no gloves. Spider-Man hands. Travis Hunter is a freak athlete. And outside of Cam Ward going number 1 because the Tennessee Titans need a quarterback, I'm not surprised that the Cleveland Browns will get Travis Hunter. When you talk about the best athlete in this draft, y'all tell me what you think. But, man, I'm just telling you, I think the best athlete in this draft is Travis Hunter. I think Travis Hunter is the best athlete in the draft. When you just talk about athlete, he's the best athlete in the draft. He's a freak athlete, he is. Ron said trade back, get a wide receiver, get another quality pick. Cowboys could trade up. Dana Jett, if they knew better, they better go running back. They will go running back, but I do think the running back will be in the second round. Because, Dana Jett, and we're going to do it again today, if you get a running back, Dana, if you get a running back first, you do not get the opportunity to get any of the top 5 wide receivers. You will not get one of them. You will go to what is probably the second tier of wide receivers. You won't. Sexy Suze. Wow. I appreciate you. Sexy Suze, $50 super chat. Appreciate you. Oh, man, to God be the glory. I appreciate you. Appreciate you in the chat. Appreciate all your contributions. And I definitely appreciate that, man. We're going to definitely put that towards the studio that we're going to debut on draft day. We putting something into it. Trust me when I tell you, might be putting too much into it, but I'm gonna dedicate myself to this community and try to make this one of the best communities that you can come to for Cowboys content. Sexy Suze, again, I appreciate you. Much love to you. Renan, what's going on? He said trade back with the Steelers, Broncos, or Chargers. Get the best wide receiver available and another pick. So, Renan, let's think about this. So, again, if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, and if I'm Shedeur Sanders, I would be praying for this. If I'm Shedeur Sanders, I don't want to be drafted in the top 10 in this draft. I don't want to be drafted in the top 10. If I was Shedeur, I wouldn't want to go to Tennessee. I know it'll be less money right now, but if Shedeur is who we think he is, Shedeur will not have to worry about it. Shedeur will get paid after this first contract. I wouldn't want to go to the Cleveland Browns. I don't know if I'd want to go. I mean, New York is the Big Apple. If you like that limelight, somebody like Shedeur, I think would do well in the Big Apple. He would do good in the limelight. But you get past that. New Orleans wouldn't be a bad place to play. Jigga Man, you're not from New Orleans, right? You're down in New Orleans. But New Orleans, I don't think that would be a bad place to play. But I tell you, if I was him, one of the places I would want to go, I would love to go play with the Pittsburgh Steelers if I was him. I think it'd be a great situation for him to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I really do. I really do. Mike Tomlin is an awesome man, a leader of men. You don't have to worry about it. He's going to try his best to put a defense in front of you. Not only is he going to put a defense in front of you, he's going to put a running game behind you. And one thing the Pittsburgh Steelers, y'all might not realize this, but one of the things the Pittsburgh Steelers did extremely well, it seemed like up until about the last couple of years, they were always finding like super stud wide receivers. And I think they can do it again. But if I was him, man, I mean, because Pittsburgh don't know what's going on. I mean, I guess Aaron Rodgers is holding them hostage. And Aaron Rodgers is holding them hostage, and they need a quarterback bad. They really do. If I was Shador, I wouldn't want to go up here. I'd want to go back here where some good teams are. I really would. I'd want to go back here where some good teams are. Because you mess around and go to a good team, you're going to win faster. That's what happened to Lamar Jackson. That's what happened to Patrick Mahomes. You're going to win faster on these types of teams. Man, you mess around and go to the doggone Cleveland Browns, man, you losing for 4 or 5 years. New York Giants, you could be losing for 4 or 5 years. And I'm saying that because this is going to change the draft for the Dallas Cowboys. This is going to change the draft. I wouldn't be surprised if the New York Giants don't get Abdul Carter. I wouldn't be surprised. The New York Giants could be thinking like some of you are thinking. Renan just said it. Trade back. Well, what if the New York Giants trade back? What if the Las Vegas Raiders trade back? I mean, what if they want to trade back? Because I'm telling you this. I have been saying the Cowboys should stand pat, and I'm going to stand on that. No pun intended. Well, I guess it is a pun intended. But, man, let me tell you something. It all depends who is on that board. It all depends on who is on that board and what they're asking for. And if the Giants or the Raiders wanted to trade back, man, boy, that would be tough to turn down. But if they stand pat, look at who they got for the Cowboys. Tedder McMillan. And I'm just telling you, man, if the Cowboys get Tedder McMillan, I am not going to be mad. Tedder McMillan is exactly what you want him to be. He is a pure wide receiver, and he's going to be great for you. I think he'll be great for Dak Prescott. But you know what? I thought about something, Jared. Jared said if Dak Prescott gets the Super Bowl title in 2026, he might fall to the turf crying happy tears. He'll be relieved because he went through a lot. Man, Jared, let me tell you something. Dak Prescott and Brian Schottenheimer will be one of the greatest Super Bowl victories in football in NFL history just because of the storylines. Just like when Steve Young had to get the Joe Montana monkey off his back. Dak Prescott, it's always been the story he can't win in the playoffs. Well, what happens when he does win in the playoffs? What's going to happen when he wins that Super Bowl? The struggle that he had with his mom when he took care of his mom when she had cancer. The struggle that he had with his brother Jace Parsons when Jace Parsons committed suicide. All of the things that this man has had to go through mentally, that if Dak Prescott wins a Super Bowl, it will be one of, and I'm not going to say if, I'm going to say when. It is going to be one of the most incredible stories in NFL history. Even the haters of Dak Prescott, watch what they do. The bandwagon for the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott is going to literally shatter into pieces because that story is going to be so incredible. I guarantee you, if Dak Prescott, and I'm not going to say if, when, let me tell you something. there is not going to be a dry eye in the room when Dak Prescott wins that Super Bowl. There won't be a dry eye in the room. I promise you. I can only imagine Dak Prescott winning that Super Bowl. The first thing he's going to do, he's going to point to the sky. He's going to point to the sky at his mom. And the first thing he's going to say is dedicated to his mom and his brother. I guarantee you, it's the first thing he says. There will not be a dry eye in the room. And Brian Schottenheimer, boy. Brian Schottenheimer, son of Marty Schottenheimer. The man who had some of the most terrible playoff losses in NFL history. He never could get to the Super Bowl. He just never could do it. And he had some great teams. He just couldn't get over the hump. Brian Schottenheimer has put it on his list. He wants to do what his father didn't do. And I guarantee you he'll be crying and he'll be dedicating that Super Bowl to his father. And I'm telling you, it is going to be one of the most incredible, sentimental Super Bowl wins in history if these two guys get it together. It's going to be crazy. And then for the young folks out there, it's going to really be crazy. Because you're going to see CeeDee Lamb and them guys like them turning up for the young folks. It'll be incredible. They're going to shut Texas down. I promise you that. They'll have to shut Texas down when the Cowboys win the Super Bowl. They're going to shut it down for at least a week. It'll be Dallas Cowboy week. It won't be Dallas Cowboy day that Sunday. It'll be Dallas Cowboy week because ain't none of us going to work. Man, we're going to be partying like it's crazy up in here. But again, hey, I'm telling you, I agree with you. I agree with you, Jared. I agree with you. Ron says Sanders is dropping in his value right now. Man, he is. He is. And it's crazy because I believe some of the media people are torn because they like Deion Sanders so much and they want Shedeur to go top in the draft. I heard Shannon Sharpe, I think it was today, Shannon Sharpe was saying that he would take Cam Ward over, he would take Shedeur Sanders over Cam Ward. I've heard no one say that. But I understand where he's coming from because prime time is his boy, and I understand the mind games. People have been trying to, talk him into being the top 3 pick going to the New York Giants. But, man, these people in this draft are finicky. They're very finicky. And so you never know what they're going to do. And so some people, man, they're real finicky about this stuff. Keek said, I get Eberflus made his mistakes, but so do a lot of head coaches with time management. Also, it was more going on with Chicago. Can't score offense than Eberflus in defense. Hey, Keek, and I'm not worried. This man is only going to be able to defense this time. I'm not worried. Sexy Suze, I appreciate you. She said, just following my spirit. She said, call it a draft present. I appreciate your work. Oh, amen. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Ron said, I'm in agreement, G. He said there will be surprises in the top 10. Oh, there are going to be a bunch of them. The top 10 is going to shock everybody. I believe it's going to shock everybody. I do. I believe the Cowboys are going to be faced with a decision that they probably never imagined. The Cowboys may literally be staring at number 12. They may be staring at 3 of the top guys in the draft. Right there. Just right there. Man, what do you do? I want that problem, though. Oh, I want that problem. Hey, Doc, what's going on? I want that problem. I want to be staring at a problem to say, man, what do we do right here? It's too good to be true. I want it to be too good to be true. I want it to be too good to be true. I do. I want it to be too good to be true. Ron said if you drop back to like 16, you still get the second best receiver in the draft, and then you can move up from 40, move up to 44 to get the running back you want. Okay, now tell me who you think. Tell me who you think is the second best wide receiver in the draft. Y'all tell me in the chat. Y'all tell me who is y'all top 4. Top 4 wide receivers in the draft. Let's go to the big board real quick before we get our draft on. Let's go to the big board. If we go to the big board, so if we go to the big board, they got Tedera McMillan, no surprise. Matthew Golden, no surprise. Emeka Ibuka, no surprise. Luther Burden III, no surprise. And again, there are people who are saying that Trey Harris is getting no respect. They talking about he the Rodney Dangerfield of this thing. But they're saying he's getting no respect as a wide receiver. Look, they got Jack Beck. And then they got Trey Harris below Jack Beck. But for my taste, for my palate, the Dallas Cowboys have got to get one of those top 4. And I'm just telling y'all, do not let this name surprise you if it's called on draft day. The Cowboys in the 2026 NFL draft trade backwards with fill in the blank. Fill in the blank. And then they get whoever they want. And the Cowboys somewhere around 15, 16, or 17. And the Cowboys select Luther Burden III. I will not be surprised. I'm just telling you, I will not be surprised. This dude, Luther Burden III, I'm just telling y'all what the tape is telling us. If you look at this dude's Luther Burden III's tape, he is the most complete wide receiver in this draft. When you look at route running, hands, agility, moves, speed, tackle breaking, this dude is the most explosive. He is the most complete wide receiver. Now, when you start looking at these guys, and again, y'all forgive me for not including Travis Hunter. I don't include him in these discussions because I know we're not getting Travis Hunter. Even though I've heard stories of Jerry wanting to do some crazy stuff to get Travis Hunter, I do not count Travis Hunter, but Travis Hunter is a freak athlete. And hey, man, if the Cowboys get him, I don't know what to tell you. I would be ecstatic to get Travis Hunter. I just don't even put it in my mind because I just don't think we're going to get him. But when you think about the other top 4 receivers, they all have something different when you look at the tape. And I don't know if you can go wrong with either of them. But I do think you could go wrong depending upon the system that you want to run. And that's going to be key also. But when you think about Teterer McMillan, if you get Teterer McMillan, then you're telling me you're depending upon Paris Campbell, you're depending upon Jonathan Mingo, you're depending upon Cavante Turpin. They're going to be the speed part of your wide receiver core. Because if you're getting Teterer McMillan for your wide receiver, and there's nothing wrong with getting Teterer McMillan for your wide receiver, you already know what he is. He's not a burner. It doesn't mean that Teterer can't run away from somebody if he gets 2 or 3 steps. Teterer McMillan is not a burner. He's not going to be your bombs away guy. That's not Teterer McMillan. He's not your bombs away guy. Teterer McMillan, he's going to be your chain mover. Teterer McMillan, he's going to, he'll get you he'll get you the seam routes. He'll get you some of the go routes up the sideline. He'll get you some of the out routes. He'll get you some of the dig routes. He'll get you the slants. He'll get you the 10s, the 15s. He's going to be very easy to see, as I keep saying, in those zones. He's got Spider-Man hands. And I do think where this guy will probably be more of a plus than any of these other wide receivers. And one of the main reasons the Cowboys may want to, if he's there at 12, he's the one that you take. Red zone presence. The Cowboys have struggled in the red zone now for what, 2 years? Really bad last year. Teterer McMillan opens up your red zone. When everything gets compressed in that red zone, when you got a guy that's 6'5", huge catch radius, Spider-Man hands, oh, you're going to see him down there. You're going to see Teterer McMillan down there. He will be able to be seen over the average 5'11" defensive back You know, I mean, I'm telling you, man, it is amazing. I've already done it. The average defense, the average cornerback in this league is 5'11". And when you look at the safeties, I bet you it's somewhere around, 6'1"? Because typically the taller you are, the harder it is to play those type of positions to where you have to have those smooth hips to where you can make all the turns and things like that, because the smaller, quicker wide receivers, man, they get you when you're a tall quarterback and you can't make those turns and those cuts and stick. Oh, they just leave you in the dust. Well, a lot of these guys are going to be shorter than Teterer McMillan. So Teterer McMillan is going to be absolutely dangerous inside the 20. He'll be dangerous. Out routes, you can put a ball in places for him you can't put with other wide receivers. Fade routes in the end zone, it's going to be incredible. Crossing routes at the back of the end zone, you could literally aim for the bottom of the crossbar in the end zone. The dude is 6'5". I'm pretty sure he can dunk a basketball. He can probably at least go up in 11, at least to 11, an 11-foot throw and get it. Teterer McMillan will bring all of that, and that's why I will not be mad. I'll be ecstatic if the Cowboys get Teterer McMillan. Now, Matthew Golden is the place where I'm worried. Not because Matthew Golden is not good, but when you look at the tape, he did not play. What did he run, a 4.29? He didn't play like that. You just didn't see a lot of those plays of where he's running away from the defense. You didn't see a lot of that. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Matthew Golden would be good in your run game. He's a very good blocker, if I'm not mistaken. But Matthew Golden, I think, has a real good upside. I mean, if a team can get him and they're going to be able to get him in some of those one-on-ones on the outside and let him run straight down the field. And it's not that he's not a route runner, because that's some of the stuff that he was doing. Comeback routes, we saw a lot of that at Texas. And again, some of that was Quentin Ewer's issues. He was the weak link probably in that passing game. But Matthew Golden is the big question. Would you get Matthew Golden at 12? I think Matthew Golden is one of those, and that's not a knock on Matthew Golden. I'm just saying he's a shorter wide receiver. If you want the big wide receiver, then he's not going to be it. But again, he's a chain mover. Do not count on him playing at 4.29 speed, especially if your route concepts aren't designed to let a guy like him get in space to where you can get him in space and let him just turn it on, like the one play they did to Kevontae Turpin in 2024. Then you got Emeka Egbuka. I think he's well-rounded too. I think Egbuka will be good in your run game. He's a chain mover. Some people say he couldn't get separation, but from everything I saw on tape, it looked like to me he could get separation. He's also somewhat of an explosive wide receiver, depending upon what do you have him doing. But the one thing that I did notice about him, he was another chain mover. Egbuka is a chain mover. No doubt about it. You'll be able to find him. He's a 6-foot wide receiver also. But again, this dude right here, I am telling y'all, and we'll watch the tape on him again before the draft. I am telling y'all Luther Burden's tape is crazy. Luther Burden III's tape is crazy. Big thing about him is people talk about the diva attitude. He's got the diva attitude, so a lot of people are kind of wary of that. They're saying they don't want that in Dallas. But woo, man, I'm telling you, you put Luther Burden III's tape on, this dude is a monster, man. He is. So Travis Hunter, I'm not even putting him in the conversation. Freak athlete, no way we're getting him. Nobody's going to trade. No one's going to let you trade up to get Travis Hunter unless you're just going to be willing to give up, unless you're going to probably be willing to give up an entire draft, in 2026. But these are the 4 wide receivers. And again, if Ted McMillan is there, I'm not going to be mad, because let me prepare us Cowboy fans for something else. I believe the Cowboys got high hopes on Jonathan Mingo. I do. I think the Cowboys are big on Jonathan Mingo. I think they have visions of sugar plums dancing in their head about Jonathan Mingo. They do. They want Mingo to be the bigger and better Michael Gallup. They have visions of sugar plums dancing in their heads about this dude. And again, he's another one of these kids. Man, when you look at this young man out of pads, you're wondering like, dude, you got pads on? I mean, that's how big Jonathan Mingo is. This dude is a menacing wide receiver. And I want to go back and I want to go back and look at all of his plays for 2024. Because if you look at some of his plays, I've already seen some people running some of them. When you look at some of his plays, you'll realize it was a Cooper Rush thing. Jonathan Mingo was getting wide open for the Cowboys, but McCarthy and Cooper couldn't get the ball to him. Jonathan Mingo may look bananas with Dak Prescott. Jonathan Mingo might look bananas, guys. I'm just telling us. Me look bananas. And so I think the Cowboys got big hopes for him. And don't rule out Paris Campbell. The Cowboys want this dude they want him to make the team. He's fast. He is. And you're going to need another speedy receiver if you get Teterer McMillan. That is the part you have to face. Teterer McMillan isn't average. I'm not calling what he does. I mean, you know, it's nothing to sneeze at. I think it is his pro day or whatever it was. He ran like a 4.47 or something like that. It's nothing to sneeze at. But that's kind of like average. I mean, we got like quite a few. Someone had pointed out to me, I didn't even realize it, man. We got quite a few wide receivers on our own squad. They're already running 4.4s. We already got pretty fast receivers. These dudes running 4.4s. Paris Campbell, if I'm not mistaken, is what, a 4.3? If not faster. I think he ran a faster combine time than that. And so let me tell you something. The Cowboys, they are expecting this dude, Paris Campbell. Some people are like, man, he a camp dude. You keep thinking he a camp dude. Keep thinking this dude a camp dude. They want this dude, if he can, to be a part of the squad. This dude runs a 4.3 140. He runs a 4.3 140. He does. Now, he's another one of these Luther Burden third-size wide receivers. He's a 6-foot wide receiver.
Mom earned it.
So he's,
USAA membership is for those who serve and can be shared with their spouses, then kids, and their kids for generations to come. Start your family's legacy. USAA. See if you can become a member today.
So, you know, if you roll with Teterer McMillan,
take a look at what the Giants have been up to this offseason. Obviously, the big addition with Darren Waller coming in via trade from the Raiders. Also, Jameson Crowder and Paris Campbell at the wide receiver spot, but they did lose center John Feliciano and safety Julian Love. So now time to put the Giants on the clock and make our pitch for their pick at number 25. And ready to hear all those pitches, Mark Ross. So we've got Bucky, Cynthia, and Charles Davis ready to stand on the table and pound that table for a pick. And so we're going to put 30 seconds on the clock because Mark runs a very efficient and regimented draft room here. Nobody talking out of turn. Bucky, you're up first, making your pitch to Mark Ross on the player you believe they should take at number 25.
Well, I know Mr. Ross wants to put some more hardware on his rings to add to that collection that he already has. And so I'm looking at Daniel Jones, who only had 15 touchdown passes. We have to get him more playmakers. We need a playmaker, a guy that can score from anywhere on the field. And so Zay Flowers should be the pick right here. When you go back to Boston College and you watch how he dominated ACC competition, particularly his last season where he had 12 touchdowns. He finished with 29 touchdowns in his career. We think about that wide receiver core and what we need someone who can put it in the paint. Zay Flowers is the guy.
Let's say Mark does not like when you go over. He's going to buzz you out of here.
Pittsburgh Steelers can't find an answer.
Let's go. What do you got, Cynthia?
Okay, so I will also appeal to your wide receiver sensibilities, but I will add Jordan Addison here. And I listened to you before you had a concern about his size. The Giants are world-class in terms of training facilities, so don't worry about that. We can up his size. What I like is the polished route running. What I like is the 59 receptions after being the Blitnikoff Award winner in 2021. I like his ability for yards after the catch and paired with Brian Dable. This looks like a lot of, Emmanuel Sanders, someone he has experience with in a prior organization. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody came knocking on the Cowboys' door for Joe Milton III if he's going to be that good in the preseason.
Right on time. I like it.
Charles?
I think the teams would have been knocking on their door last year for
I was thinking John Feliciano at
Trey
center.
Lance had a better showing.
All right, and being gone,
but the
I was thinking maybe Joe Tickner from Wisconsin.
But
the Giants run an offense that's similar to college option offense.
Joe Milton looks
Remember
good
the late great Demarius Bebe Thomas coming out of Georgia Tech and that option offense? What did he give you? Big plays downfield. How about Quentin Johnston? TCU.
If he runs really
slants,
that good,
goes overs,
and if I was the Pittsburgh Steelers,
and he scores touchdowns for Danny Dimes.
Maybe the
I beseech thee, Judge Ross.
Okay, Mark, you heard the case.
They had better
basically, it's all white out here at 25.
I gotta see it.
What do you got?
I love
Show
the way
me
everybody's
the
thinking,
receipts
trying
on
to
that.
help out the offense and Danny Dimes.
Because you had him out there for a third,
big wide
nobody bid
receiver
on him.
there, love it. But as soon as he drops
Cowboys
that first ball in the Meadowlands, they're going to be pulling him right back down to TCU.
You got him for a 6.
Bucky, I love the connection with BC, the Giants' strong history of Matthias Kiwanuka, Cynthia's guy.
But if he's good, let's say he turns out to just really play well in the preseason.
But sometimes when you run drafts, you have your personal favorites too. And Jordan Addison is my favorite wide receiver in this draft. So, Cynthia, I got to go with Jordan Addison there. Thank you for that draft pick going to the Pro Bowl and helping win championships there.
All right, now we're talking.
They wouldn't allow us to have Joe Milton III.
Take a look at what the Giants have been up to this offseason. Obviously, the big addition with Darren Waller coming in via trade from the Raiders. Also, Jameson Crowder and Paris Campbell at the wide receiver spot, but they did lose center John Feliciano and safety
Julian Love. Because I'm telling you, if Joe Milton is good,
so now
teams will be knocking on the Cowboys'
to put the Giants on the clock and make our pitch for their pick at number 25. And ready to hear all those pitches, Mark
if Joe Milton is good,
we've got
if I'm
Bucky,
the Cleveland
Cynthia,
Browns,
and Charles
I'm
Davis
beating the Cowboys' door down because I'm getting ready
on the table and pound that table for a pick. And so we're going to put 30 seconds on the clock because Mark runs a very efficient and regimented draft room here. Nobody talking out of turn. Bucky, you're up first, making your pitch to Mark Ross on the player you believe they should take at number 25.
Well, I know Mr. Ross wants to put some more hardware on his rings to add to that collection that he already has. And so I'm looking at Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones, who only had 15 touchdown passes. We have to get him more playmakers. We need a playmaker, a guy that can score from anywhere on the field. And so Zay Flowers should be the...
There was an audio on Paris Campbell. Man, I appreciate you there. Sorry about that. Appreciate that super chat, too. All right. Niecy, appreciate that super chat. I'm sorry about that. I didn't. It's not coming through my audio, so I didn't hear it. Appreciate that $9.99 super chat. Dominique, appreciate that $4.99 super chat. Yeah, it was the one on Paris Campbell. It had something playing through it, and I couldn't see the readout over here, but it's obviously coming through for you guys over there, which is weird. Yeah, we're getting ready to upgrade this too. Oh man, frustrating. All right. But again, guys, I'm telling you, as it applies to the Cowboys, again, if you didn't hear me about Paris Campbell, I think the Cowboys want him to succeed. I do. I think they want him to be a part of what they're doing as far as the speed part of the game goes. I'm telling us. D Block, he said, you going in. Hey, I appreciate you, D Block. What's going on? Man, I'm just telling us, man. I'm telling us. I just wouldn't be surprised with the Cowboys, man. If Teteroy McMillan is there, the pluses with Teteroy McMillan are incredible. So if he's there, Cowboys get him. Matthew Golden, a lot of people are questioning whether he should be at number 12. Emeka Egbuka, he's going to be solid all around too. But I'm telling you, Luther Burden III, if you look at his tape, minus his attitude, Luther Burden III is the most complete, explosive wide receiver in this draft, and the tape ain't lying. The only thing about Luther Burden III is people talk about his attitude. So that may be something that hold him back. Solomon Jernigan. Now, the tape that we looked at, even though he gets the separation, you're running a 4.29. We're not seeing a lot of the big splashy plays, or at least I didn't when we watched the tape on him. It just wasn't a lot of big splashy plays, and he wasn't playing at a 4.29 speed as far as I could tell looking at him on the tape. Burden plays faster than what he is. When you watch Burden in and out of breaks, in and out of routes, Burden is just, man, this dude, the quickness is what it is with Burden. See, there's a difference, and you already know this, Solomon. There's a difference in speed and quickness. Man, quickness, speed kills. But boy, quickness make you look silly. Quickness will make you look silly, man. And I'm telling you that this dude Luther is the real deal. D Block, he said, see, Paris Campbell ain't ready. You ain't ready. Niece said, gee, I guess it's time for the collection since you had the choir audio playing. Dominique said, man, if I got all that speed, deep passes over quarter from Dak on Campbell. Yeah. Alfredo Morales, he said, just because someone can run a 4.2 40 don't mean he can catch a football. And Paris Campbell and again, Stu Matthew Golden, he can catch the ball. There's no doubt about it. He can catch the ball, so he'll be great. Timothy Govan, Tolbert and Brooks are out. I think for sure Brooks is out. I think for sure Brooks is out. No doubt about it. Richard Villegas, he said, maybe we need an attitude to pump up these guys. We're going to see, because that's what these coaches are saying they're going to do. Ron said, because Golden has only straight line speed. And again, that was the thing that I noticed about Matthew Golden watching this tape. I didn't see the 4.29 speed as he was playing. And again, it could be some of the route concepts too, because it was like they never let him just run past somebody. It's very interesting on him. D Webb, Luther got that dog in him. Boy, I agree with it. He does. But again, the big thing on him is going to be the attitude. And that's the thing. Dominique Pittman, I don't know where the attitude narrative came from. I really don't. I just know that's what people have told me. All right. Tolbert might be out. D Block, don't you say it. Don't you say it. I've heard other people say the same thing about this dude, man. Don't you say it. All right. All right, guys, I appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow. I got to get some work in on this studio. I'm trying to have this thing ready by next Thursday. I'm going to have to bring in some of the troops. I got some people that's going to come and help me out, I think. So I'm going to have to bring in some of the troops so I can get this thing done and do some of the things that I plan on doing on that Thursday. Again, I appreciate all the super chats. Some of them was because I didn't have sound. Believe me, I won't do that on purpose again. I won't try to get super chats like that. Martin Holman, appreciate you, $5. Sexy Suze, $50 tonight. Appreciate you. Man, God be the glory. God bless you. Ice Wall Cowboy, $2. Appreciate you. Nisi, $9.99. Appreciate you. Dominique Pittman, $4.99. Appreciate you. He said, shout out to UG. Yes, sir. I had the video played in the background. Don't worry, we'll fix that. We got some other things coming. We're going to get all of this worked out in the new studio. It's just time for me to do some upgrades. I've been had some of this stuff for a long time. I've been live streaming just not for the Cowboys, so some of this stuff is time to upgrade, and we're going to do that when we get into the new studio. But again, man, guys, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Appreciate y'all talking Cowboys with me. Appreciate your comments. Next week, we're going to be opening up the phone lines all next week because y'all are going to do the mock draft. We didn't do today, but y'all are going to do the mock draft next week. Each person that calls in, you will get the opportunity to you will be picking a pick next week, all next week. So it's going to be call-in draft. It's going to be a call-in mock draft all next week until we get to Thursday. But again, we still got a long way to go this week. We may do some call-ins this week too. Got a lot of great things coming. Excited about the things that they're going to be showing us in these voluntary workouts. I'll be keeping us up to date as much as I can. Y'all keep me up to date too as I drop videos. Drop them in the comments. But again, I appreciate y'all. Y'all hit that like button on the way out. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. We're on our way to 10,000. Trying to get there by the end of the month. Until the next time, let's talk Cowboys. We talk facts. Peace.